Hey everyone, I'm Jason, and this is your commentary on Numbers chapter 18. So, quick question for you. Is it right for pastors within megachurches to be millionaires? Or, better yet, is it right for missionaries, elders, deacons, and preachers to make a living off of the service in the church? Well, those are questions that we're going to discuss further in depth on our Patreon and Discord, but they get their roots here in Numbers chapter 18. This chapter is actually broken down into two main sections. The first part are the roles and responsibilities of the Levites. And the second is the compensation, where God provides for the Levites for their service at the tent of meeting. The Lord spoke to Aaron. He said, "You, your sons, and your family are in charge of the sacred tent. You will be responsible for sins connected with the tent. And you and your sons alone will be responsible for sins connected with the office of priest. Bring the Levites from your tribe to join you. They will help you when you and your sons serve at the tent of meeting. This is where the tablets of the covenant law are kept. The Levites will work for you. They must do everything that needs to be done at the tent. But they must not go near anything that belongs to the sacred tent. And they must not go near the altar. If they do, they and you will die. They will help you take care of the tent of meeting. They will join you in all the work at the tent. No one else can come near you there. You will be responsible for taking care of the sacred tent and altar. Then I will not be angry with the Israelites again. I myself have chosen the Levites. I have chosen them from among the Israelites. They are a gift to you. I have set them apart to do the work at the tent of meeting. But only you and your sons can serve as priests. Only you and your sons can work with everything at the altar and behind the curtain. I am letting you serve as priests. It is a gift from me. Anyone else who comes near the sacred tent must be put to death." This ties back to the previous chapter where the people were angry at Moses and Aaron, and God repeatedly tried to show them that Aaron was the appointed one. He was supposed to be the high priest. So even the other Levite families were fighting against Moses and Aaron. When God finally established Aaron as the high priest, he puts all of the Levites under his control to provide for the tent of meeting. But only Aaron and his family were allowed to be the priests. Then the Lord spoke to Aaron. He said, "I have put you in charge of the offerings brought to me. The Israelites will give me holy offerings. I will give all their offerings to you and your sons. They are the part that belongs to you. They are your share for all time to come. You will have a part of the very holy offerings. It is the part not burned in the fire. That part belongs to you and your sons. You will have a part of all the gifts that people bring me as very holy offerings. It does not matter whether they are grain offerings or sin offerings or guilt offerings. Eat your part as something that is very holy. Every male will eat it. You must consider it holy." So, quick note here. He says that you're allowed to have part of all the offerings that are not burnt. And he lists 3 here, with the grain, the sin, and the guilt offering. There's also the friendship offering, the wave offering. But there's one offering that they do not get to take part in, for obvious reasons. It is the burnt offering. If the portion that went to the priest was the part that was not burnt up, and in the burnt offering everything is burnt up, that would be the only offering that the priest could not take part in. Part of the gifts the Israelites bring as wave offerings will be set aside. That part will also belong to you. I will give it to you and your sons and daughters. It is your share for all time to come. Everyone in your home who is clean can eat it. I will give you all the finest olive oil and grain that people will give me, and I will give you all the finest fresh wine they give me. They give all those things as the first share of their harvest. All the first shares of the harvest they bring me will belong to you. Everyone in your home who is clean can eat it. Everything in Israel that is set apart to me belongs to you. Offer to me every male born first to its mother. It belongs to you. That includes humans and animals alike. But you must buy back every oldest son. Suppose certain animals are unclean. Then you must buy back every male born first to its mother. When they are a month old, you must buy them back. You must pay the price to buy them back. The price is set at 2 ounces of silver. It must be weighed out according to the standard weights used in the sacred tent. But you must not buy back any male calf, sheep, or goat born first. They are holy. Splash their blood against the altar, and burn their fat as a food offering. Its smell pleases me. The meat will belong to you. It is just like the breast and the right thigh of the wave offering. Those parts belong to you. Part of the holy offerings the Israelites bring to me will be set aside. No matter what it is, I will give it to you and your sons and daughters. It is your share for all time to come. It is a covenant of salt from me. The salt means that the covenant will last for all time to come for you and your children. The Lord spoke to Aaron. He said, "You will not receive any part of the land I am giving to Israel. You will not have any share among them. I am your share. I am what you will receive among the Israelites." God is going to provide for the Levites. He's going to provide for the priests. They get a portion of all the offerings that are brought. The exchange, however, is that they do not get to possess any of the land given to Israel. What was given to them was olive oil, grain, wine, and a portion of the meat that was not burnt up. This was part of their standard diet, so that way they would be able to provide for themselves and their family while they were serving at the tent of meeting. So how much actually went back to the Levites? The Israelites would give me 1/10 of everything they produce, and I will give it to you, the Levites. They serve at the tent of meeting. I will give them the 10th for the work they do there. From now on, the Israelites must not go near the tent of meeting. If they do, they will be punished for their sin. They will die. The Levites will do the work at the tent of meeting. They will be responsible for any sins connected with the tent. This is a law that will last for all time to come. The Levites will not receive any share among the Israelites. Instead, I will give the Levites the 10th as their share. It is a 10th that the Israelites bring me as an offering. That is why I said the Levites would not have any share of land among the Israelites. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Levites. Say to them, you will receive the 10th from the Israelites. I will give it to you as your share. When I do, you must give a 10th of that 10th as an offering to the Lord. Your offering will be considered as if you gave grain from a threshing floor. It will be considered as juice from a winepress. In that way, you also will bring an offering to the Lord. You will bring it from the 10th you receive from the Israelites. You must give the Lord's part to the priest Aaron. You must bring it from the 10th you receive. You must bring to the Lord a part of everything given to you. It must be the best and holiest part. Say to the Levites, you must bring the best part. Then it will be considered as if you gave grain from a threshing floor. It will be considered as juice from a winepress. You and your families can eat the rest of it anywhere. It is your pay for your work at the tent of meeting. Bring the best part of what you receive. Then you will not be guilty of holding anything back. You will not make the holy offerings of the Israelites unclean. You will not die." We see here that the Levites are given a 10th. But even out of that 10th, which is actually what tithe means, it means a 10th, they had to give a 10th back as well. So they only ended up receiving about 90% of the offerings that were brought. And the last 10th went back to God. So, are Christians now under the command to give a 10th of all of our money to the church? Well, no, not really. This is a tithe, a 10th. It was a command for the Israelites to give it to the Levites. We don't have Levites. Unless you're Catholic, we don't even have priests anymore. So it's kind of good news, bad news. The good news is you don't have to give the 10th of your money to God. What do you have to give, though? Well, everything. Because in the New Testament, we're told that everything belongs to God, and that we are to give freely in order to advance His kingdom, in order to help out others. We are no longer commanded to give tithes and offerings. But what we are commanded to do is be good stewards of God's resources and use them generously for others. Well, that's it for our commentary on Numbers chapter 18. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.